Divine-gpms.world is a worldwide cumulative gathering of consents for every child, woman, and man to ratify and enact into law worldwide the all-inclusive replacement system of money and law worldwide, as outlined on the consenting website of divine-gpms.world. It is imperative that all worldwide take a couple of minutes and consent to add your accord, children included.
Greetings to everyone. We are on divine-gpms.world open public worldwide meeting on August 24, 2025, and we have guardians all over the world, many continents at the same time. And also, Rick, you are still living in Romania. Romania is my place where I was born, so for me it's a huge, significant place and way to develop the true freedom there. Eric, I was really impressed by your writing about Doreen Virtue, as she opened basically more towards Christ. And as you said before this meeting, many and many people come more and more towards the true God, and they are able to discover, and they are able to ascend. This is extremely important for GPMS and for the world in general, how the world is changing. Please, can you tell us a little bit more about this particular story? This influenced me a lot. Thank you so much. It's much more than a hope. It's reality.
No, it is. Well, with Doreen Virtue, she is a great example. Now, there's so many different belief systems that are out there, but the most important ingredient, if you will, is to be connected to God's source and prime creator, and to recognize that it is that he and she is actual conscious supreme beings and entities. And it's that connection which is your way out of this matrix, or this playground. So it's pertinent, and it is required to have that. So when you look at what, let's say, what Jesus said, where he is the way, it's because he taught the way. So it's not to mean that everyone had to pray and kneel down to Jesus, if you will. It was to follow his way to get connected to the way to source, is how I'd like to put it. Now, there's some ambiguity with Jesus in the past, if Jesus was actually or is actually God, but it doesn't matter if Jesus actually is or was God. He is connected to God, and this is the connection to take one's forward. So having said this, it's so beautiful. In the last week, I have seen the examples of this as one's come out of thinking they are the God. So that level of ego and arrogance is a level in their progress, in their process, thinking that they are the God, but it's a pertinent part of their process at recognizing and igniting their self, their God sovereign self. And then what occurs is that it evolves then, once they have reached such a degree with their inner self development at recognizing the God within, then they're more readily, they are ready to connect with the external God, if you will, to make it complete. So when the external God is on the outside, then they are connected with their ascension to raise and uplift. So it's part of the process, if you will. And the message with Doreen Virtue, if you will, it's letting go of a lot of the misconceptions that were also keeping ones thinking they are the only God or goddess creator of their reality and not recognizing the prime creator aspect. So simply, if you will, to explain it, this is part of that. And Doreen was a great example of this. It doesn't, I need to put this, even though um, there are many beliefs out there, it doesn't mean that all beliefs are wrong. They are just levels of one's progress going forward. So beliefs will come and go. And with this is why we also say that truth changes. It's always in constant change until you get to your full self and your full connection with God, prime creator, which creates the ascension as well when it's time. But there is the important stippler with that, even though one's let's say internally find the God self, successfully connect the God self to the external God, yet you're still all here. And the stippler with that is because there's an overall divine plan. We are all here to unite, gather all of the souls, and shift the whole planetary reality. And this is the heaven on earth that was written through antiquity to take those that are ready with humanity, the human souls, out of the hell to raise them into the heaven on earth scenario. And so, again, you know, I love, which is true, it begins within everyone. And then it's connected outside. If that answers it, to make it complete. Without the God, if you will, there is no direction out of here. One's just keep flailing in the same old, doing the same old things, looking for salvation or what have you. So great, Brother Dave.
Yeah, thank you. I just wish to add, embellish a little bit on what you've just spoken, Brother Rick. There's a practical application to aligning with God at this time. We're in the end times. Everybody knows that. End times is disruptive times or unsettled times because the ones who are on the way out don't wish to be on the way out. So that brings us automatically unsettled times. So the linkage to divinity during this time also adds an element of protection. My wife and I have been living that protection for a number of years now. We've pushed against the oligarchy or the status quo or the system quite heavily in a number of areas over these 5 years, and the divine protection is palpably there. And so that helps people to practically gain some advantage of aligning with divinity at this time. It's very real, and that protection is necessary during this time. Like I say, as things become more unsettled, and we don't know how much more unsettled they will become. That also closely aligns with the quote from the Bible. I believe it's John 32, which states, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." That's also another thing that I have closely aligned with over the last 5 years as we set up our Truth Center. So yeah, divine protection and the truth will be everything somebody needs during the remainder of this silly time as we straighten out the planet. So that's about all I have to add to that. Thank you.
Thank you, if I may, brother. Thank you. Yes, silly. I was using the word foolish as well because that is what it is, what we see out there, silly, crazy, and foolish, with ones not recognizing, you know, the full solution so quickly. But again, there are divine reasons for that, and and let's say some resistance. But nevertheless, I was going to make the point. This is the thing, see, ones need to shift out of having fear, and with that connection to God, this builds the trust. And with this trust, what it then does, it creates that safety mechanism for the individual, what Brother Dave is speaking about. And it depends and it varies from individual soul to individual soul. But those in let's say complete trust, they could walk through a battlefield and not get hit by any bullets or not even be seen, if you will. So it's important to know the power of truth, which is trust in God. And this is the highest truth. And this is also why it was written where Jesus could vanish, if you will, which also was bilocating and what have you, but really just vanishing. And when you have, let's say, darkness, they look for fear. So if one is in fear and they're looking for one, then they're able to see them. But if one is not in fear and in complete trust of God, they cannot see them because the darkness is looking for fear. But if there is no fear there, they cannot see them. So what this does is connects that they become invisible, and you'll hear ones that will say this in different places. Even perhaps grocery shopping, sometimes ones will run into them, didn't even see them, some of the higher ones in their trust and in their love, and it's like they come out of nowhere. So yes, very good, and we're seeing, and this also builds the trust, is what Brother Dave was saying, and it is so important. These clues are written there, in such things as the Bible, the Quran, and ancient teachings, and but they're scattered all over the place as well. But in the Bible, yes, if you once you're in such a level of consciousness, then you can weed out what is the distortion. But also, what you will actually find is that even though it's been manipulated, that once you're at such a level, you will find that no, none of it is manipulated. It's just the level of perspective or consciousness that you are looking at it, meaning that, let's say, Romans 13, where it tells you to pay taxes and obey the government. Now that is manipulation. However, it does have huge benefits when you look at it, because it allows you to see that there is an actual evil control that attempted to manipulate such things as the Bible. And that is a truth in itself where you're showing that. So it depends again upon the perspective. Thank you so much, Brother Dave. I'll stop there. But just to add with the end times, it's so great to see that occurring this week. More finding Jesus, which is a representative of God, and finding God, Mother and Father, theirself, all inclusive. It's all perfect. And Mother Mary, of course. We need these representatives of the supreme beings, because it is your lifelines, if you will. It's what raises you out of here, and it is very real. God is very real. Nothing is by chance, is true. Thank
Yes, Rick. So I already experienced a lot, despite many complex situations that I had to pass through. I experienced a lot, not be seen and not be hit, and I move forward with my mission and everything. So um, I'm not saying I was laughing. because basically the people from the convoy, they have a lot of problems and everything, and I was able to move with do no harm law and to spread the word without truly having problems. So this is true. And even there, when somebody tried to bite, was not possible. So something happened all the time. Yes, there is a divine protection in place, and I know that. And sometimes I feel even to this level here that the divinity inside of me communicates and is there, and I am in peace and calm and love and everything. So, and this is able to enter on the field of the darkness when the darkness try to hit or something or to bite, and they have no power. They remain somewhere in space. It's like, yes, it's true. It's a very, very interesting experience. But it's something else regarding the depression, anxiety, because you said the ascension is also playing a huge, huge, huge role. And because of the system today, you know, lack of money, problem in family, many people passing away or having health problem, or, you know, all this accumulates, and basically the people get in depression because they cannot see the future, they cannot see the way to move forward. And even though they hear about GPMS, GPMS is still not here, so it's basically not acting as a system. Then they cannot, even though they have a hope, but they cannot live on their daily life, you know. It's like what they discover when they go on the street, it's basically back the system. What they discover when they receive invoices to pay, as you said, pay taxes and obey the government, you know. All these interactions, so basically there is a lot of frustration. And this depression, anxiety bring the people in what it's called as assisted suicide. In Canada, it's about the euthanasia law that it is although developed by the darkness. It is a darkness system inside of the actual system. And there is a huge problem there because they manipulate a lot, adults and children included. For example, it was a child of 12 years old, like 1 year ago or something like. The parents, the child was in the hospital. The parents were told that the hospital has not some medication that they need to buy. They were going to buy, and on that minutes, what happened inside of the hospital, uh, it was a feminine of 12 years old only, and those in power with assisted suicide ask her if she wants to pass away because this will be a huge relief of her pain. And when she said yes, basically she agreed at 12 years old only. Then the injection was applied, then she passed away. When the parents were coming inside of the hospital, returning with the medication, they found their child that passed away. So how can I say the system is playing in so many ways? We are in divine times, where it's pain and suffering, it is depression, and assisted suicide, that it is a darkness scheme. They are growing their list. So, and the people try all other method. If they are still not able to get in suicide mode to end their life, then they go on the list. So what would you tell us about depression, anxiety, and ascension, and turning towards God, recognize God and everything, please?
Well, typically, again, the message remains the same. What I need to say, as everyone knows, this current system worldwide is the beast system. It resides in hell. GPMS is the heaven system, but it's already here. It's already integrated for everyone to choose it. And as we said, um, the moment that this goes viral, if you will, the choice is made, and it could be made very quickly. Within a week, everyone would have all of their freedom, all of this unlimited money, and what have you. So again, it's the distinguishing by the individual of what is divine and what is evil. And again, this worldwide system is evil with all of its design, its mechanisms, the entire dynamics is built into this is the hell system, if you will. It's the beast system, and it's meant to take away from the soul everything and control the soul and keep them in submission. But what occurs also because of the soul's involvement, and to that degree of free will, the soul has to make the choice here and now. And there are many reluctant souls that were hesitating. There's many light workers, many of the ground crew that were bought yet by the system and not knowing. They're bought by the darkness and not knowing it, by not uniting and standing up. For example, we should have had today perhaps 300 or 400 on this meeting of all of these divine delegates, and you don't see it yet. And as a course of measure by Prime Creator, it's also coinciding with there being pressured more and more worldwide natural events, earthquakes, water events, weather, all of this, but also the severe suppression due to inflation, which is part of the beast system. So these things are being allowed to turn out to occur in hell to assist ones in making their choices much more quicker. Um, so having said that, for us, all of us here, and the ones in GPMS, there is that safety, yes, that is created, even though it's a tumultuous time and a wait period. Everyone is secure. You're on the ark, if you will, and we have to go through this duration because there are many more souls that did not make the choices yet. And again, you know, I see such foolish things and silly, like Dave said, that ones don't recognize their their actual value. And when you look at one thing that come up this week was like let's say with Trump, he put out, you know, oh look, for the Americans with our investment we got free in Intel, it's worth about 11 billion or something to the Americans. But what but what you do at the same time with this, it's all just a ploy and a deceitful game, meaning that if you do the math on that, it's about $31 for every American citizen. But they never see that money because it's in government bonds and trusts, if you will. It's part of the dark system. But the point I'm making is that Trump presents that to the people, making it look like something. So let's say we do the math on it, $31 each, but then we look at the same time with all the politics with the tariffs that cause extreme inflation. That $31 doesn't mean anything even with that, and the people don't get it. Actually, the people are robbed even more. So it's the game that is played of trickery and deceit upon the people. So when we look at shares, if you will, you know how Trump said, you know, here's these 11 billion, $31 a piece is what it's worth to the American people. Well, at the same time, we look at our shares in GPMS, which are unlimited. They're gazillions of dollars, if you will. So it shows how nonsensical things like from the political arena, what they give the people, and the people believe it and they choose it rather than choosing their unlimited worth. But at the same time, it's great to see foolish presentations like that, like Dave said, because the people are more able to easier see through the illusions and to identify what is wrong, what is right, what is trickery, what is nonsensical, what is truth. And again, the ultimate truth with the shareholder value of every individual in GPMS, it's unlimited. It is the most valuable worth ever known to humanity. And because also you cannot put a price tag on the freedom that comes with that. So we have it all, if you will. Just quickly to jump. No, all right, I won't do that. If I may, I only have 3 notes this week. I'll just give them here. One thing I was happy to see this week by looking at the recent consents coming in is a wide variety coming from UK, countries in Europe, also the US with more stepping up as well. So this week and the last week, we've seen more beginning to come in from different countries. And of course, what Sister Lodi is bringing with all of our Filipino brothers and sisters is very good. And also, Sister Lodi, we may be approaching in the Philippines for the time for the brothers and sisters to get together to enforce a lien, if you will. And what I will also say, because these liens, if anyone watches what I post, these liens that we are doing, they're both legal and lawful, and they cannot be ignored. So it's very important for the people to know the power of these liens, but also the more people that you have that have endorsed the liens, the more powerful instruments these are. Now, let me say things are happening so rapidly, but I just bring it now as an option into the awareness. And one reason I need to do this, because I've been contacted from another country by one that is, I won't give the particulars because he hasn't put it out publicly yet. But this is a significant one. And once he does this, he is a member of GPMS, but he needs to get more of his people from that country in onto GPMS. But once he does this, this is also significant in another country. See, when you say about GPMS, when people says it's not here, it's not working yet, that is not correct. It is here now. It is energetically doing everything. And as I said, this system of GPMS, once it's chosen by the majority, which they could do worldwide in one day, poof, it's activated. It is the flash. It is the freedom. But nevertheless, with that, I've been putting out a lot of information, and as Sister Beatrice showed in one little video, when ones go to try to like or love the post, what I'm putting out, it won't work because, they're trying to keep the numbers down. But with the back door, looking at the amounts of ones, for example, you might see only 29 likes or loves on one, but when you look in the back, there can be about 3,000 that have seen it, But what's occurring is because of the algorithms, but more direct, what they do is limit that ability, which is, it means nothing other than it's funny to look at, because what I'm giving is the truth, that actually the things I'm putting out on Facebook, which are very important documents and instruments of divine law, people are actually paying attention. But if you go and look at my posts, it'll look like 20, 30, or 40 are only looking at it. But let me say, if you see 100 there, it's perhaps 8 or 9,000 that are looking at this. It's just because of the control on the numbers, so that they're trying to control the content, the darkness, from getting the bigger audiences. However, it is occurring regardless. So I was happy to see that, and everyone also needs to recognize, again, I'll state it here, that GPMS is a universal nation with universal jurisdiction, which is above international law. It's the highest law. It's already here. And for the simple reason, it is the international law resides in legality, which is inferior to divine law and moral law and law of reason. Again, within the legal systems, none of it is law. It's actually immoral, because it creates suffrage, harm, and all of those other suppressing and inflicting words and adjectives. So when GPMS speaks, because we have all agreed and put all of our consents there as a ratified big voice, it does move things. It is recognized in the outside world completely. All nations, to whatever degree, do recognize it. And I don't say what I'm about to say out of conceit or ego. I say it out of truth, that the world leaders know who and what I am, and they also know you, and they know GPMS and what it is. But again, they are not souls, the ones that have suppressed and kept humanity. They are part of the evil beast system, if you will. So yes, we have, and again, if you look at the Vatican with about 1,000, which is a nation by population, we are like 350, almost 350 times greater than that. And when you look at us and our standing by population, in comparison to the other nations worldwide, with about 230 recognized nations or sovereign nations, we stand and rank at right now around 170 or 171 on that list, and we are climbing. And this is very important, because with the jurisdiction of GPMS, we are a very powerful authority. Even though it may not look like what we're doing is recognized, it is having an effect, because there is, with what we're doing going forward, it's handcuffing all of the darkness. It's putting, there is no contest with this. So we just keep going forward, bringing in the heaven on earth and doing what is right. So, and which is excellent. I actually, I only had 3 points. I got through them all. I'm good. Anyone else wish to speak or any questions? Go ahead.
Yes, Darhi.
Yes, hi everyone. I have a question. It's like, what is Divine GPMS is doing? It's like bringing people all together. It's very nice. But my question is, it's like lots of energies right now is coming from a sun, And Schumann resonance, it's sometimes over 100 points. It usually should be like 783. And question is, it's like divine GPMS, more votes coming in and more energies coming in from the sun, or otherwise around. It's like more energies coming in and people awakening and just trying just see the result of it. It's like divine GPMS and just finding the way and connection and how it's work. Maybe Brother Rick can answer, I don't know. Okay, thank you.
Yes, you develop already a huge discussion. It was all the time a question that I wanted to put to Rick, but right now it's open. So, Rick, you know that in 2023, the sun, the correct sun was here on Earth. So right now we have the correct sun. And for example, for the people that they were vaccinated, it was a huge step forward because everything that they put inside of the vaccine to link these people with the 5G internet and everything that is harming to the cellular level, everyone, and destroy everyone. They wanted to go in a sort of a zombie apocalypse that never happened because of the interaction of the light protection that was coming forward. So we have the correct sun from spring 2023, and also you work a lot on developing the 5D, that it is the 5-dimension light grid. And right now, he spoke about Schumann resonance, that is extremely important for everyone. We hope to have this Schumann resonance with the Tesla, Tesla energy, the free energy, the true one, the free energy. And we said, okay, when all the electricity and everything will be replaced with the free energy. So basically, should be inserted this Schumann resonance that will be everywhere, then the people will have this available. But right now, he is speaking that this might come, or the sun has a huge influence of that. So please, can you tell us, because these are already very three important elements, the correct sun, the 5th-dimension light grid, and right now Schumann resonance. So what can you tell us about the Schumann resonance and what really happens? Because this is part of healing process and moving forward GPMS too.
Yeah, to keep it simple, perhaps, yes. From the sun, the central sun, if you will, is, I'll say, the life force. That's what it is given to Earth. But it's a pure truth life force. It's positive. It's given through the positrons and the photons, which are light. There is no distortion in this energy. So when it comes to Earth, it's being recorded on Earth's instruments like the Schumann resonance that measures the values of the electromagnetic grid, if you will, in its entirety, and what it's showing, as well as, so many other Earth instruments, like the other one that I love. I don't know what the name of it is, but over the US, it shows all of the ground electrical charge as well, which is very, very good, and it's part of the process. So what I am saying is that Earth's instruments are actually picking up on all of these phenomenon and confirming it, but it's not phenomenon. It is directly divinely inspired. And when you have, to perhaps answer Sergey's question, when you have one, again, that joins GPMS, that is aligned with God and awakened, the energy that that one brings into the whole of GPMS is many multiples. It's more than one. And this creates a bigger energetic impact on reality. And energetically, what GPMS does, it assimilates reality. It assimilates and transforms hell if you will, into the heaven on earth, and the hell vanishes. So with everyone that does join, it makes a huge difference. And I also say I love using one from a different country, or any country really, that comes into GPMS. If you don't know that individual could be connected to millions, and it can cause these flashpoints in GPMS as well. But nevertheless, everything with GPMS is ascertained. It is guaranteed because it is the ascension vehicle, meaning that it is inevitable. It does get done. And I believe we're so much closer now. September the 3rd, by September the 3rd is a very important date I've been given over the last week. With it, I'm not given the particulars more so, other than knowing by then something is scheduled very big perhaps to happen. I can feel it's big, but I don't know what it is, and I'm not given directly from the Father yet, other than I had to put out that things are intensifying with this next wave, with earthquakes, natural disasters, because again, truly, no one here on earth can resist or can ignore what's coming, and they cannot hide from it. This is, it's like in this time, no stone goes unturned. So with my instruction, also I had to put out for those that it resonated with, because that was further guidance. Get yourself clean. If you've got some past deception that you didn't get cleaned, now is the time to do it. You need to take it out of your energetic field. Because I'll use Judas as an example, what was written with Judas when he betrayed Jesus. He met an untimely death very soon after. Now it says he was hung, but also his stomach, his intestines exploded. It had all come out. But to put this perhaps in a more refined perspective of what it's saying, it is telling everyone that these unresolved, deceitful acts that you have within leads to death if you do not confess and do the right things. Judas did not confess. He was actually bought by the darkness for 30 pieces of silver, if you will. And that is the darkness. It's the dark money, and much more. But again, getting back to the point, it's what it does if you do not get that release. It's an energy that is in you, and to be purified, you need to have that out into the open so that you create your own redemption, your own salvation. So it needs to be cleared. If it remains within one, it's an unfinished, uncleaned act. It has a negative energetic residue. And once anyone, it's more so for the ones that have been awakened. There have been ones that also have did betrayals and what have you, after knowing what was right or wrong, they still did it. So they need to clean up some of these acts, but also any major deception that one did before they were awakened. If there's any unfinished business, that also has to be cleared if it is major. But typically, what occurs when one's awakened, then they are endowed with the knowing that, yes, they must clean up all of this deception from the past that was major. Now, you cannot clean up every little lie, if you will, but it's these major things that you do need to clean up so that it gives you rise, and that you release it. And and again aligned with purity and doing what is right. So this was given, I put that post out again just a couple days ago by Father to remind ones, just do any final clearing. And you know, it is a typical part of the process anyway. Each one comes to know what they need to do to purify. It's part of what we call their inner work and their alignment with what is moral, what is right, what is truth, and all of these good things. So, without rambling, yeah, it does make a huge difference worldwide, and you can watch the ripple effects as more come into GPMS and what it does. And right at this time, I am more focused on the law, divine law aspect of GPMS, because that needs to be integrated, and you do that by spreading the awareness of it. And the liens are great examples of that because they're both the lawful and the legal constructs which cannot be ignored, which gives the people the actual power that they never knew they had before once they began to utilize this from the universal nation and jurisdiction of universal authority. And everything is backed and it is enforced by God, if you will, meaning that once to enforce these lawful measures, it doesn't work like legality. They need a police force to go out there to force this on ones. It doesn't work that way. The way it works is that if they don't recognize it and they don't support it, then the wrath of God comes in because they create the energetic wrath themselves. So it sets off with them a time bomb, if you will, that it must implode because it's not in alignment with righteousness and with truth, and it causes so much harm for the people. Um, and this is a part of the process. So getting, again, using Sister Nya's case as the example, but now there's more cases that it's being applied to in different ways. What this does is empower the people also to break down the rest of the old beast system. So it's inevitable. And you always have God, for any that is in truth and in alignment with God and believes and trusts in God and even knows that God is real, just by being in that state of being, by default, everything else has to fall away that is not in alignment, because God is the most omnipotent, powerful energy. It is all creation, mother and father. And it's so important to know this. You are each one on Gaia, you are actually of Earth, you're actually a child of Earth, of a very powerful, sentient mother aspect of God. And again, it's so, yeah, I'm done. Thank you with that. Instead of rambling, it just got taken. So that's my cue to stop.
Yeah, so Rick, so we are doing the artificial intelligence implementation right now in the world. Part of is still the bad one as the MRA that was inside. So, but parts start to be good a little bit, but the true, speaking about the 6,000 brevets invention, hidden from humanity for more than 100 years that are still not yet developed, or the hospitals that the actual hospital are basically obsolete and The new technology with new hospitals is still not coming yet. It's not showing up to heal the people. At the same time, we have this artificial intelligence implementation. When we implement that as inside of what is called companies, that they are based on profit loss, that this is against universal laws. And it's not part of something like GPMS system where basically the people start to take all benefits of the artificial intelligence. So basically on the actual system is just inverted, that only few will touch all the time their profit and others will have no jobs. We started to have in play right now, especially from the attachment of professionals like titles, like doctors, attorney, what we are called also engineers, for example, in construction and everything. The people still do not realize that this attachment of profession that they try to keep up to earn money and to have more money than others to be able to live by the end. It's going basically against their ascension. This is part of education, that it is part of the education from the evil system, that it's not moving forward. So their profession as they know today, they will do not profess on the same way in the new earth. There will be something very, very different, that basically everything that remain their power to I'm not saying to learn, but to develop everything that is good for humanity and not what they know from the education. So basically, these professions are going down, and many couples are based on the other one is a professional one, has money inside of the system, is recognized inside of the system, play a role inside of the system, has assets and everything. And basically they do not recognize a true value inside of the individual. And they are saying, I am doctor, I am engineer, I am professional in these times. But everything it is related basically to the darkness system, and they are not saying I'm love. So they do not recognize the power of the individual. We are energy. We are love. They do not recognize that. Then the communication is not based on the intrinsic value of the individual. And this is a huge disruption, because basically all the communication and the relationship, I'm not saying all, but many are based on something that it is an illusion, based on professional recognized inside of the evil system, based on money, assets, and everything. And those having money and assets, they do not share. They are still keeping for themselves to still live 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. So basically believing on the pension fund system and everything. So this is a huge impact when they are not able to understand, and the people are not able to understand. We are the value, it is inside of us, intrinsic value, and the money with GPMS. This is the huge problem on the people mind. They understand, but basically they are not to the point to realize that this will move in every single plan or that they have on their own life, and everything will change. And basically we pass from what it is fear, like anger and everything, on the new word that it is love. So fear, if as doctor I will speak about the vaccination effects, I will be not doctor anymore. So this is fear. Fear as an engineer, if I start to speak about the construction materials, I cannot profess tomorrow, so then I will move in another place. Then I will develop other buildings that I know from the beginning that they are with material that they are not resistant or they harm the people, but I'm still doing that because I need to earn money inside of the actual system. And basically they are not able to come and speak freely because they do not recognize the power of love, and they are not able to see what really do no harm is and what it is love. Then they do not apply on daily life. When they do not apply on daily life, it is very hard to understand the intrinsic value of money and intrinsic value. We are the value. So it's extremely hard to deeply understand and to move with GPMS forward. So this is
Well,
a huge discussion. Thank you.
yeah, well, what I'll say with that, in the professional field, you got to look at the numbers of the worldwide population. And if you look at any professional element, again, you could say it's the minority, but also on an individual basis, when ones are divinely called to divine service, if they don't give up their professional jobs, if you will, and chasing the money, against all odds, if you will, under the most unusual circumstances, things are taken from those important divine ones that need to apply their professional skills in other areas. So I like to say overall, it's organically taken care of. One of the things that, again, that that what ones do when they look at, for example, a world leader as a professional, and when you look at that, there's only about 200. So it is a very small minority, but also when you look at that, you see that actually they're not professional at all. So you also have the falsities of many that carries many degrees, credentials, which you will have someone that has not went to school at all, which will have more common sense and higher intellect than these ones. Because again, with the system, the way it worked, if you will, with ones with money, they would get free passes. Perhaps they would fail their tests, if you will, but they give the dean a few $1,000, or and they get a perhaps high mark. So with all of the credentials and degrees and things that are handed out, they're actually false, because they could fully be incentivized, and these sort of things don't matter for this time. So with any professionals, their skill sets, if they are part of the essential goods and services, then they shift their skill sets from what they had learned in the old, if it can be applied to the new, but in a better fashion, if you will. So again, what I don't typically do, because if you have a very high professional that is bought by the money, the materialism, and all of those things, and if they're still doing it, they are harder to reach. It's really a waste of time. If they need to come forward, it occurs organically between that soul, if they are a soul, and God again. So the important thing is to know, perhaps there is one professional, where there's one professional worldwide, there's perhaps 99 non-professionals. So again, this is where we focus on the majority. And but again, with GPMS, it doesn't discriminate, meaning that you could have a very wealthy professional philanthropist, and at any time they could be called by God, if you will, and by their own soul to step up. So this is why it's important we cannot discriminate between beliefs, if you will, and we need to keep as objective as we can and keep the focus on going forward and gather those that are ready and with us because of the worldwide lack, which is about 93% in reality. That is where the numbers come from. It doesn't come from the professional field, for they are, let's say, about 15% of perhaps the population, or maybe not even that. So again, we keep our focus on those in lack. And just for clarity, when I say poverty, so worldwide, you'll get statistics saying that it's because of their description of poverty that you perhaps only get worldwide maybe 17% is what they'll say. But in actuality, when you consider financial security for the future, what you will find is, boom, those numbers go up very quickly to 85 or 90% is the actual numbers that statistically no one has the financial security. And the full truth of that, when you look at who controls and operates the internet worldwide, one can more or less switch it off, which means that the entire planet is at the mercy of that deception. And anyone on here would know, once the internet or the power shut off and you cannot get money, where everyone is at. They're at the mercy of it doesn't happen, but I need to stress this, that so ones know actually how what they're in right now, it is not a secure future in the beast system. And that's again why the heaven on earth system, GPMS, has to be brought in, because it's also about who controls the internet and the financial networks worldwide. And that is the elites, the banks, the evil ones. And if they're to shut that down, no one has anything, and everyone has become so dependent upon their money, if you will, and how they. So, yeah, without going deeper into that, it's a redundancy, but that's what it is. So, yeah, it's not to, also, I should say, it's not to judge, because we need to be very careful. It's not to judge one that is professional, because I like to say that leopards can change their spots, and overnight you can get these pleasant surprises as well, because the power of God is magical, miraculous, omnipotent, and instantaneous as well. And also, it's the power of God also exists in the now, in the future, but also importantly in the past, where things also can be changed. And an example of that is some of you may have seen with history changing in the past. And this is an example by the choices of everyone, what everyone does now. It also affects and changes the past. And so it is very real and very important without explaining that. So again, like Brother Dave said, if we trust and remain in truth and we keep going forward, because truly there is no other way. We've already been there. We did all of that. It doesn't work. This works. It's the ultimate solution. So it's most common sense and most sensible to stay in alignment with this, no matter how hard it may get. Um, in the blink of an eye and in a flashpoint, everything can change. So everyone needs the tenacity and the strength to stick with it, being fully faithful. And that's how we move mountain ranges. I got it up to that now because actually we are moving entire mountain ranges. No longer are we moving mountains. So I feel it's happening very quick. Something by September the 3rd looking substantial, but also by September 23rd. Between now and then, huge things should transpire. Just a quick update from Father, as I said a few weeks ago, or I've been saying perhaps over the last month or two, that by December 31st, we could have the mission fully completed. We're in the heaven on earth scenario. However, more recently, in the last few weeks, it can be done in a month, this new world. So it could happen at any time between now and December 31st is most possible. There is that element of unknown by eye, because truly this also depends on the decision of Mother, Father, God, and I'm not privy to all of that part of the divine plan. So I just purvey and relay to what I receive with it. However, again, I fully believe in it always, and if it just doesn't occur, it's not about that it wasn't, that it's false. Again, we need a future trajectory. We need a direction. And without any direction, you don't go forward as well. So it's important that we have these two things, that we do have a tentative date, but with I feel it's more than just a tentative date. When you look around the world with everything what we're seeing, and we know we are in the end times, the signs confirm that. So I don't feel it should be very long at all. And I'm back to saying that yes, in a month we could have it done. And as we know, in one day, with the information, we can have the entire financial routing system worldwide set up, cleaned out, and distributing funds to the paymasters. And when I speak about paymasters, these are your bank account, or where you put your card in when you want to buy something. You can also, when you put your card in, you also can have it topped up with money. So with that, the end into, so very quickly in one day, yes, we have this full ability to do it. So with that, I mean, look at it. Geez, in one day, I say a week, we could have everyone reach from this point in time. If they all come in and consent with GPMS in a week, everyone's laughing, celebrating, happy, joyous, all the children running around free and happy, and all of the teenagers, all of the students, they no longer need to go to school to be indoctrinated into earning degrees so they can be into slavery. They are free, and yeah, everyone is free. And even the senior citizens, all are free. And with Romania here, it's getting more difficult, and it's absurd what some of the seniors get here to live off of. It's way below poverty, and the prices of electricity, of food, heat, things are all going up here, and their pensions, to my knowledge, has not changed. So it's causing very very intense pressure. And here we are, let's say in August, just getting ready to come into the fall and into the winter. which is not very good. And people need to stand up now and join with GPMS so we get this done. Also, since yesterday, as an indicator, I'm on a hill, but the little town is down below in the valley, but I can hear sirens. I've heard so many since yesterday, which is an indicator of more people getting sick and perhaps even dying because of the pressure. So just to share that, but I'll stop there. Thank you.
Yeah, a little bit. I spoke about professional in general in society or whatever the people are keeping as position inside of the actual society and their role that they play inside of the darkness system. It is because we need to get out of any attachment to be able to ascend. Exactly what you said. And you spoke in your Facebook about child services, and I spoke also today about euthanasia law, that it's killing also the children, just in another way. And you spoke also on your Facebook about the final judgment days. Wrath of God, Book of Enoch, Matthew, Guidance, Thomas, Anna, Maternal Faith, Magdalena, Revelation, Hopi, Satya, Yoga, etc. So the people needs to start to recognize the sign, what really means end times, that it is the end of darkness, not the end of the light, not the end of their life. And there is much more hope to move forward on this direction. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about the wrath of God that right now it's happening because of the children suffering in the world and the final judgment days, please?
Yes, very quickly. What I'll also say, just getting back to the professionals, ones need to realize that there's not all souls in this earth. So you also could have minions that are professionals and they don't go forward. So again, you don't put the focus on them, but you don't judge. You just observe neutrally because truly ones don't know which professional is a minion, a soulless minion, or which they are a soul. So it's best just to not judge that and observe neutrally. Well, again, with so many belief systems on Earth, it's been seeded GPMS, as we said, and as you mentioned through the Bible, through the Hopi prophecy, with the Satya Yuga, and through Hinduism, and all of this. It's been seeded worldwide again for this very time. So there cannot be any long-lasting ignorance to identifying that GPMS is it. But again, what we're dealing with on the consciousness level, ego, which hinders one, fear, which hinders one, the programming from the society as well, which hinders one. So these are all things that ones need to break through uh, on an individual level, but also supported by the collective. So that is also taken care of, I'd like to say, organically with it. And what was your question, Sister Beatrice? I kind of lost what you asked, please.
Basically, there was not a question. It was just to introduce again the subject that the people needs to recognize the day where we are, because we have so many signs. We have also a lot speaking, including on native Indians, like the Hopi prophecy that you mentioned. We have the Book of Enoch, we have the Matthew, we have a lot of things that give the guidance to the people that we are on the divine times, and what exactly the divine times are, because it's not the end of the world.
Well,
But
right. Well,
yeah, it is the
but
end of the world as we know today, because it is the end of the evil.
Yeah. So what, what it just did with all the belief systems there to connect the dots to show everyone all of the belief systems are saying the same thing, and we are at that apex of the end times before we go in to the new. So it's also to bring, all together and give them a nudge once again. I constantly test the field, but I energetically test the collective field as well, because we need to have movement forward. Stagnation is it doesn't do anything. So when I'm divinely guided, I do put out these things to this effect. And also they coincide with what's already been divinely orchestrated as well, which is great. And that's when you get the confirmations produced to say, yes, this is right, and to get in alignment. But again, it's so many belief systems, not belief systems, so many different individual beliefs is what complicated things. And by dark design, that's what they create, is the complexity with many different variations of false stories to disempower the one and take them away from God, because then they're able to be controlled. But again, what I said earlier, now the ones are realizing the true God in the connection to the external God. So this is huge with what we're doing. And again, nothing stops what we're doing. It's inevitable, it's divinely scribed, it's divinely ascertained. So everything is taken care of. It's the thing again, we just always need to be in that full trust of it. We know it's coming, but we just don't know when, but we know it's close. And one of the clues that, Father also put in the Bible in Matthew, um, no one knows that hour or that day, so you got to be ready, right? And when I put out the post last night about any final clearing, this is also indicative that, we got to be ready, because also you create the flashpoint. The more pure ones we have and unite it together, boom, that energy uh, helps effect the flashpoints as well. Because again, reality is not what it seems. And when you're in full alignment with God, when you are one with God, and you know what that means is trusting fully in God and knowing your soul and you're connected with God. When you're one with God, miracles happen, and such profound things beyond the human logic. But this is also the power that is bestowed upon all of the divine delegates, like all of you here. Once it's fully embodied, you begin to change reality yourself. However, there is the overall divine plan that governs things, so everyone is not walking on water making quite a stir right today, but every soul can do that, and so much more. And this is what Jesus said, and these are the times that we are in. And it is very real, very true. I say it is, but not only I, others can also attest to their experiences that they had. And the darkness would try to ridicule and say they're crazy so that they could control and suppress the truth. But in these great times, more and more are speaking up and saying, "Hey, I saw Jesus standing here," or I woke up and went outside one day and it was a different world, or I took a drive down the end of a secluded road that had no houses, and there's a big museum there, if you will. And these are very real experiences, because reality truly isn't what it seems, and each one's experience is different, and it is customized to their multi-dimensional aspects and their connection to Mother, Father, God. So everything is possible, just to keep it simple, and that covers all of the good experiences. Thank you.
Yeah, so Rick, a little bit on a couple of other subjects. I'm still on construction field open somehow here. And yesterday I saw on the building on plywood material written like E and X. This is the Roman letters that basically it's 9. And right now, today you spoke about September. So I had a message on the wall. Yes, so I received a message. Basically, yesterday I saw that and I said it was there all the time because I pass every day in that place and I never saw it before. It is there all the time. So this is open minimum in the last 2 months, and I never saw the 9 there, the E and X, that is basically the 9. But right now I know that you spoke about September 2025. So thank you for the message. It was received yesterday. I had no idea what is happening, but I had like a premonition that something big will happen in September. Another thing in the Hopi prophecy, I will share also part of my story, a real story, since that happened in 2021. On the Hopi prophecy, I was bring in a land of native Indian, and I had no idea that he's a native Indian. When I was there, I stayed there for 3 weeks around, and we intended to make a community and everything, and we tried to see what the government is saying, if we can split the land, 40 acres and everything. And basically, he in one day, short time after I was on his land, he said he bring me on his house. The wife was there, and she basically they had on the wall the history of native Indians, and he started to tell me, you are white skin, I'm red skin, and basically you were coming on my land speaking also about freedom, find solution with me, you want to find solution with me to get in the right direction. We were speaking about Canada at the time, and he said, but basically here, through everything that he explained, we are in a prophecy, and I know who you are. At the time, I had no idea. And it was amazing because he said, if you are here in my land today, speaking about true freedom and basically coming with me to be together to end the evil in this world, basically we know that the true freedom and the war and basically the peace will be, it's not far away as in linear time. This is what he said. And I do recognize that. At the time, I had no idea about what he's speaking. But after that, I understood that I am basically in a divine mission. And I would like to say something because we spoke also about the reserve. Native Indian reserve where they are living presently, some of them, the water there, it's absolutely no good. They started to be aware that the water is killing them because it's their toxic water to kill the native Indian, we know that. And basically they are drinking right now water from the plastic bottle. All the plastic bottle that you can find on the shopping right now, supermarket, are infected. So they should do something else for the water, and some of them, they know what to do, but some they are still just drinking the water from the plastic bottle yet. So need to come together, not to be killed, because if you are killed, there it's no future in the body. Like, so we need a high number, enough high number, how many people can unite and pass on what it's called New Earth. So the native Indians, they know very well what it is, the New Earth, and in what times we are. And I hope that they will contact me, and from there we may start, or they can come inside of GPMS and we'll find each other to move finally the GPMS in the right direction with us number. Regarding a little bit Romania, it's a huge problem there. We had what is called Romania. It was the tribe as Dacia tribe before, a couple of tribes there, like we had the Geto, Dacia tribes there, a little bit on the land that is bigger than Romania today and everything. Inside of the Romania, we have the fight for the land between the Romanian people and the Hungarian people, where each of them, they are saying the Carpathy part of the Romania, Carpathian mountain, exactly where you are placed there, it is belongs to Hungary or belongs to Romania, and basically they fight each other for the land. Just remember from the last time, the land belongs to divinity, not to the people. So we share the land and all the natural resources. We have to stop the fight there. The fight in the past gone towards killing teacher. That they spread some information about the land property. We should understand it's not about the land of Romania, it's not about the land of Hungarian people. They have absolutely to stop fighting for land and resources on Earth, and basically to stop to fight up to that. This has to end. So Romania and Hungary, it's just another false border, does not exist. And also when Russia tried to impose on the freedom movement of Romania rights over the land, it's like you'll have like your land that is recognized today as Romania, and I have my Russia land. It's not about the Russia land. Russia is the biggest area recognized as land, as country in the world at this time, but it's not about any kind of Russia land. There are no borders. So the people should come together. So Romania, Russia, whatever they are there around, Hungarian, also Serhi, you know, you are from Ukraine. So another message that should be shared, we are in Canada, I am Serhi, it's in Ontario, I'm in Alberta. So we are together in GPMS, we move GPMS forward, via consents and everything. So Serhi is probably born in, where are you born, Serhi? I believe in near Romania, the place, and I am born in Romania. We do not fight each other. We help each other if necessary. We communicate very well. So this has to be done in that corner that is called as East Europe. So stop fighting, open the borders, have trust, because and these borders, it's everything is based on fear. Because basically the people are saying, oh, I need border, then the other immigrants cannot come, but they are not immigrants. And 6 billion soul on Earth, it's about that this Earth has territory and has such a natural resources and everything, then even 900 billion can live on Earth. So 6 billion, it's nothing. So, and basically the poverty is coming because the people have no access and they have no idea how rich we are through the resources on the land, on Earth, and also because of the hidden new technology that was never the good one, that was never implemented. So we have to stop fighting for portion of land in that area and start it to come together. This is an extremely important message, and another one is based on age. because I started to meet people on their 60, 70, 50, 80 years old, and they are saying, oh, my life, it's already, it's gone. So I wanted to have that, but my life, it's basically gone. So it's like I'm old enough. So they recognize the old that it is right now on the actual system. And even that I'm telling them all the time, you are not old, you are 80 years young, not old, because the real life, it is 700, 800, like in the Bible was recognized in the past, but we have the very high toxicity. And with the new technology, good one that is coming, it's about 1,000 of years on Earth. So think what you'll be doing in the next 100,000 years on Earth. And many will come on light body. This is immortality for the body. So, and the third generation will start. So until the people who do not see third generation, that they pass themselves from physical appearance like 50 or 80 on their 20 and 30 back, they are still keeping on moving on the same idea that they are old and frustration of everything that they were not able to develop on their life because of the darkness system and the third dimension that it was at the time. And this is harming them a lot and moving through depression and everything. And they are not able to see love intrinsic value. That is GPMS. Yes, Rick.
Thank you. You touched on just a very important point there at the ending of it as well, that I brought it up before, but people need to realize your longevity, how long you live, depends upon your energetic environment. And just to keep it short and sweet, in the GPMS environment, you live, let's say, at least many hundreds of years or even more in reality. But this is not so hard to fathom again, because all aging is created by stress and all of the different foods they have here. So the GPMS world, once that eliminates all of the stress worldwide, ones become more youthful and regenerate and clean up the physical vessels, but also the power of love and connection to God and being in peace and in that joyous environment. It does, let's say, create immortality. And and Femke can attest to this. When Femke and I are in our intimacy, if you will, the purity of our souls and the power of that love, our bodies and our faces begin to change to very youthful. And this is just an example of the power of love and how it also activates that immortality within others with the purity. So you have these in conjunction with each other. But getting to Romania, also what I thought when you were speaking, Beatrice, is what I've observed here in the last week, but also known before, because of a lot of crop damage from hail and other factors during this year in Romania, but also because there was uh, a a mild spell and a deep freeze in winter, which was unusual. Uh, Cherries and plums that grow here wild, none to very little. Even the chickens, if you will, not laying much eggs in this area. The point that I'm making is that on the Romanian people, because they made so many preserves and with berries, when these things are not here and the price is going higher, it adds extra pressure upon the people as well. as well as going into winter. And one of the great things that the Romanian people do is preserve things for winter. But what I'm saying, a lot of that is not here in crops, cherries, plums, and other fruits and things. When they had the excess, this is what they would do. And so what this also does will force them perhaps to, if this continues, to depend upon other countries and other stores, but then the prices are going higher and higher, without explaining everything with it. But I needed to point this out because, again, the Romanian people are being suppressed even further to come into alignment with GPMS and get this done. And I've even put out that post that ones need to realize how quick this could be done and the suffering all ended, if you will. So just using Romania as an example for that, that it shows that it's happening on the large scale. Thank you.
Yeah, so a little bit of summary of what I wanted to share today. Just to remember all the time when you are speaking about yourself, like inside of the actual system, I am electrician, I'm doctor, I'm engineer, I am professional, I am whatever. I am love. This is the most important. I am love. And I know my intrinsic value and I know all other people with soul value. Then I recognize the intrinsic value of everyone. We are equal, Divine-gpms.world, and we have to unite. And because I am making reference to Nate Vinyas again, because they know divine law, they know do no harm, exactly what they represent. Even that the tribes are not keeping this divine law correctly in purity was not able to be kept because of the actual system infiltration and everything. Minimum they were to send to their generation and through their generation the message. So the message is no. Other people like Romanian people or Orthodox people from the Orthodoxism and everything, they know also divine law. And also all the people, when they start to share the love that they feel and everything, they start to recognize the truth. And the truth, it's the most important. So it's a huge message for me. If I would start to hear people around, I am love, then finally recognize our intrinsic value every day. Start to speak the truth. This will harm you. This is still available. I cannot give you what is necessary today, but this is harming you, just to know. So start to speak the truth through what is called as professional or what is called as, whatever the job you are doing. Then from there, we'll see the improvement in our life. Quickly, this will start to develop. So speaking the truth out, start to recognize the legislation as the common law, civil law, and everything, that it is artificial legislation, and start to say, based on the government law, this is what it is presented right now. And this is part of my job, but I know the divine law is that. So start to do that and start to speak the truth out. When you start to speak the truth out, so basically, disallow much more of the falsity and artificial laws and everything to go down. And speaking all the time the truth, you are coming on the frequency of love, where is trust and everything that you need. And from there, we are finally able to gather and to move in the correct direction. Yes, Rick, if somebody wants to add something for this meeting, my message for today was already shared. Thank you.
Well, at times like this, I usually call on Sister Lodi for an update in the Philippines, if we may. I see yesterday, dear sister, she's been adding even more names. So may you oblige us with an update. Thank
Yes, of course, and thank you for this opportunity. Um, as of yesterday, I am very glorious that 4 Divine Sisters have contacted me. Um, I don't know exactly where they got my number, and they asked me about GPMS. And yesterday and today, they have been sending names from their community here in Metro Manila. And also, one sister from Isabela, far north of the Philippines, she had previously um registered some names from the province of Isabela, and then she stopped for a while, and then yesterday she contacted me again, and she's asking for the new link of Divine GPMS, and maybe tomorrow or in this coming day she'll start again inputting names from her community in Isabela. And um, I, I would just like to share what I have been watching or reading about this coming September. September 9 is a 999 portal. So I believe that the number 9 is a completion. So probably there is something really great happening this September, and I'm looking forward that it is has something to do greatly with GPMS. That's all I can share. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sister Lodi. Just to share, over the last 2 weeks as well, with a little bit of numerology, the numbers in GPMS, the numbers of consents, twice it equated to 7777, which is a Divine Father signature. So it was not by chance as well. It was an indicator and a mark of, in the least, the consistency with GPMS. But what I also wish to say, reaching a millennium milestone, perhaps too. So a very important indicator. But also, as I've said, perhaps a few years ago, Sister Lodi, and you'll recall that the power and the force of our Filipino brothers and sisters, because the number is so high, it's perhaps 220,000 or 250 now that are part of GPMS. This is a very significant voice, and the more representatives and guardians that you have there with you, Sister Lodi, if they're able to gather to get very quickly the majority of the Filipino brothers and sisters, you can activate GPMS right in the Philippines itself, because what occurs is that all of you together with the majority actually owns the central bank of that individual country. And because of the lawful agreement by the majority, you also own not only the central bank, but also the internet and the physical monetary printing presses as well. So there cannot be any contest, meaning that once you reach the majority of the Filipino population, it goes poop from the majority of 50% to 99% in the blink of an eye. So really, it is so important to keep getting these consents, because you have the ability to do this very quickly and set a precedent. With my focus, I love using Romania here because it's only maybe 20 million that are here. And very quickly in these small countries, it can be done just so much easier and quicker. As you can see in the Philippines, I believe it's perhaps 70, 80, or 90 million, or over 100. But when you look at small country like Romania, it can do it here much quicker because you don't need as many consents, really, in the way that you would think. But also, where you're so far ahead in the Philippines, those are staggering numbers that can have an instant effect when you have everyone out getting the names to get it done. So you also could be the first place to set off the chain reaction worldwide, because the moment that any individual nation begins to use the GPMS unlimited currency, what occurs is no other outside nation can compete with it, and it actually makes all of their money inferior and also worthless, because again, this is the most powerful currency that is ever known, and it's divine. So nothing can oppose it. So let's say the Philippine brothers and sisters, if they're to do this, they become the most wealthiest every man, woman, and child on earth that was ever known, because it's unlimited wealth and it's unlocked, and it's all at your fingertips with your central bank and your financial routing system in the Philippines to do what is right. So there is the absolute power and real lawful power that comes with this. And there's also the lawful instruments we have now divinely brought into play, the liens. And when these are enforced and ratified by the majority of the people, they have the most supreme authority, that nothing can again stand against this, because again, simply GPMS does no harm. It uplifts all and places everyone equally into full comfort. This present system, it does the opposite. It is the inversion that suppresses and takes and controls everyone. And it's because of this beast system, it says that ones are worth very little. For example, when ones are successful at winning a law case of systemic abuse, they'll throw them a couple, $10,000 or $20,000, which is a very actual insult, is what they'll do. But in reality, and what we're putting out there is that no, it's not acceptable. And at this current time, with the richest man on earth, if you will, excuse me, is Elon Musk. So when one human can reach that wealth in this system, that means everyone can, because it's already there and it's already achievable. So then when you go to set a value right now on earth, what is everyone actually worth? Well, they are very reasonably and logically worth at least 500 billion. So then you work up from there. But this is only to give an example of a base, because the real truth is, and with any all financial markets works on projections. projected earnings into the future. So they realize the future and they calculate it into the now in shares. But by doing this, in reality, in the future, you can have genius children that can go from a poor family, if you will, in the old to being very rich. So that where it exists, it is the total rationale, reasoning, and basis also to say that the value, at least of every child, woman, and man, is now set on earth. The most limited value is set at 500 billion. The actual maximum value with GPMS, it's unlimited, it's infinite. It is not capped, but at least we got the floor of what to realize. And if you went quickly right now to do those numbers with our GPMS membership at 500 billion each, and if you're just to do it with the Philippine um, membership of GPMS, you know, these are huge, staggering numbers once again that nothing can compete with. It's unprecedented, and it's but this just to give some examples of this extreme value that ones need to realize, and they need to know it now, and they need to be part of GPMS worldwide. So no longer are you moving mountains with great forces, you're moving entire mountain ranges, and it is inevitable what we're doing. But thank you for that, Sister Lodi, for that update. I'm very do you have any approximate numbers with maybe how many would be coming in from these 4 new sisters? Thank you.
Not really, because I haven't talked to them if ever they have any organization or a certain group of their own, but they are just sending me names, and I'm currently putting it on the website. I have asked one if ever they have a database on a computer, but she said she doesn't have it. It was passed on to the founder of their group, and that founder was previously we previously had a meeting with that founder, and I don't know what goes on that he stopped. He literally asked his members to stop supporting GPMS. But yesterday, that divine sister, she said she's doing it on her own, that she wanted to continue putting names and spreading GPMS with uh, the people she knows. So probably, maybe, and also with the other groups. Actually, there are certain various groups that we had meetings before. Um, they are happy that there is a plan that GPMS is laying out for humanity, but they are not yet into joining. Hopefully, uh, when all the energy and the frequency aligns, they will connect again, and hopefully, when one group gets on board, all the others will join us, and the virality will go to that virality, hopefully real soon.
Yeah, I believe so worldwide. It's again at any moment. I mean, this is it's everything for everyone, and it can be achieved in less than a month. Like, what is everyone waiting for? And yeah, indeed. But I'm interested. You had mentioned about one group where they were putting names on, but then their leader told them to stop. Do you have any reason why why that leader would tell them to stop? Do you have any information on that?
Um, it was, I think, 3 years ago. Um, that group is the one who welcomed Brother Lee when he first stepped on the
Oh yeah,
country.
I know.
So
Yeah,
probably
they were
you
kind of
know who they are.
yeah, they were kind of like on the board, and then they began to try. Yeah. I know of what you're speaking about. Yeah. So it was more about self-interest, if I'm correct, what they wanted to do for to get money and these sort of things. So yeah, but again, that's not in alignment, and that's why they would not be part of it, because again, it's for their own interests, and that is not in alignment with what GPMS is. It's for all of the people worldwide. Yeah. I was just curious. Yeah. Thank you for that. Mhm.
So if someone else wants to speak inside of the meeting today.
Just while we're waiting, if someone else wishes to speak, I had mentioned several months ago, and I brought it up a few times, that it was my impression that from Peru we would have had big numbers coming in. And, this information originally came from Sister Yolanda that was down in Peru. And I was under the impression that there was 15 or 20,000 that were ready to come in. But, and I shared that, but yet even today, not one has come in. I sent Sister Yolanda a message, I think 1 or 2 days ago, just with any update, but she hasn't replied yet. And let me just say it's very odd, because I had anticipated several months ago that they all would have been coming in very quickly. And when you have that initial excitement and recognition of GPMS, it should not stop. So there, when you see some funny indicators like this, then it's uh it's important for I to know, but all of us, what happens. And this is part of the reason I asked Sister Lodi, so we could get an explanation, because really, again, it doesn't make sense. It's foolish not to see everyone doing it, and it should not be anything holding them back. Um, so I wanted to mention that. Also, with my website, we were creating that I had anticipated a couple weeks or perhaps several weeks ago I'd have out. No, those technical difficulties are still somewhat present, but also there has been a divine intervention to do something else, which was more important. So let me say it's beyond circumstances beyond my control yet. However, I do feel I will have the teaching website up soon. But nevertheless, what we have is a um, so my teaching website would have been what you could call the sister website connected into GPMS. But now what we have is the brother website, which is up and running, but it's from the lawful um, position, which is will be, or if not now, connected to GPMS. And this is putting all of the lawful public notices, instruments, things that we have done so far, but with divine law in there. And one of the reasons this is important, because also we can direct all of those that are going into divine law to also come to a complete place where everything is at, a website that is also pointed towards GPMS to point traffic there as well, and to link everything together. But not only that, this huge case of Nyaz is a divine case, as we know, and it's being it's orchestrated as a very important example to provide um, this energetic space to begin to use the lawful documents so ones can actually see them in play. And rather than, they're thinking that some will say, oh, GPMS is all talk. And no, you begin to look at what this law is doing worldwide. So we're also creating evidence and a confirmation of its power, and it's also creating unity. So that website, this one is good. It's up and running. To my knowledge, we're still putting things on it, but I anticipate again by perhaps Monday we'll put that link out. But we'll see what occurs with it. And there's some other important notices that are going to send some more shock waves through the old system. What we say GPMS is a peaceful system, which it is. And with these liens, we're not fighting against the system. What you see is that the system provoked first, they attacked first. So, with this, if you will, then we use the divine law to show how they are acting unlawful. So, we're doing this to the world as well. So, Austria is just being one example, but it's providing and it's unlocking a lot more truth, meaning I'll use Euro Adopt, which Austria is one of these several countries that were part of an adoption agency, but they have a charter that they give to the people, to the public, that they're doing everything good, and that the child services in every country is a main player in this. But where we have the proof of psychological torture, human experimentation, and unlawful things, where it's incontestable evidence with Austria, these other countries will be forced to make public announcements that they cannot have Austria as part of that anymore. And if they don't make it, then they are all in a complicit, incriminated situation as well. But not only this, Sweden is one of those that are connected to Eurodopt. And with the present prime minister of Sweden, he has been implicated in a past um, uh, questionable or crime that they took children from Colombia that were babies, and they actually stole them and told the mothers that when they gave birth that their baby died, if you will. So there's a huge inquiry that is occurring, and a huge investigation, but this is showing the connections to all of the other countries, but it's also showing, as we go deeper, the huge money involved. In the UK is a main player with billionaires in there, but also the Netherlands. And in the Netherlands, many children were vanishing as well. Um, but also in the UK, what we put on our Bandy Lee interview, uh, it's as high as 83,000 children in the UK vanished just in I think 2023 or 2024, just in 1 year. And these are also connected as part of Euro Adopt. So what we're doing with journalists as well, we are opening it up, giving the journalists the tips so that they can follow it up. We don't have time, but let's say it's pretty blatant. And this will also crumble a lot of the old system by putting the truth out there and also saying this is not acceptable, because this is also connected to harming the innocent children. And one thing that we know with Jesus and God, you don't harm the children, and it's enough now. So it's all being broken down. And it has to be, because we're in the end days, and all corruption has to be exposed and revealed. And the children are innocent, and they are to be set free and given back to all of their families worldwide. So not only is this just in Europe, again, it's connected to the US. In our interview we had with Bandy Lee, that is on my Facebook and in some other groups and being shared. So this is very significant and it's part of GPMS. So no, we don't accept this stealing and hurting the innocent children and the all of the moms and the parents. I mean, it's so ridiculous in Norway. Norway is also part of this Euro adopt countries, that the child services took a child in Norway because the child was 1 pound underweight, was their ridiculous reasoning. But what it's showing is the underlying intent, that they actually want the children. And then we have the many children that have vanished in Austria, uh, in Italy in 2020, 22, 23, or 24, with Austria, the last port of call, if you will, with refugee children coming in there, was over 20,000 had come into Austria, then vanished. And, these are significant numbers. And when you look at Europe, uh, pretty much yearly, I think it's 53,000 children on a yearly basis. I think it might be more than that, are vanishing as well. But it's also a lot of it, the last time they are seen is with child services connection to, I forget the name of these centers when refugees come into it. So it's becoming very blatant of what's been occurring, and this is actually very huge. So you can see what this can expose, because what it does in Europe, all of the government's legal systems that allow it to continue, um, but also all of the child care services, which are actually not child care services, as we know that they are very deep cult, if you will, and satanic, and the underground railway that they have for children, and buying and selling children, and other heinous things that are done. And again, just to give a little more information on this, the amount of money that these child care workers, if you will, and their institutions, what they are receiving for one child, uh, in Austria, as an example, and I think it's comparable in Germany, is anywheres they will pay, the government will pay the child care services and institutions involved anywheres from 75,000 euro a year to over 200,000 euro a year for one child. So you can see how it's a lucrative business, but it's also something much deeper that, let's say, the journalists investigative journalists and forensic journalists can really actually uncover more detail very quickly, but also at the same time, when there is not proper records kept or statistics that match up with actuality, it also proves again that a huge crime is being concealed. So where there is not transparency as well, it's it's making the entire system accountable. But where this crime is so huge and where people think the world court with international law is the highest, it's not. But what it's doing is that it's obligating their world court, the International Court of Justice, it's obligating them that if they're able to enforce any justice, that they have to step forward, they have to inform the public worldwide, not only in Europe, because again, the connections are to the US, to Asia, and what have you. And what this also does with international law, if they do not oblige the people with international law, it actually shows it's null and void, which we already know, and it cannot be used. And then the onus is upon the people themselves to do the right thing. So when you start looking at uh, all of these numbers of innocent children vanishing and also being abused in experiments and what have you, for any any person in public that allows this to happen and don't say anything, they also become an accomplice through condoning allowing it to happen. So these are very serious implications upon every man growing up worldwide to allow these things to occur. So they are given the choice to stand up and with the people to end this insane, evil, wicked beast system worldwide. And this is part of it. So again, in this end times, you know that all of the souls will, and they must choose it, and they must also be part of a GPMS because they must stand in the GPMS, which is actual law, because truly it's the only thing that does protect them because it is absolute law. And the current systems worldwide are legal systems which are artificial laws, but it's the inversion of law. It's not moral, it's immoral. It does the opposite. So it really, the legal system should not even be called law at all because they are not. But this is all being disheveled and exposed to the world. And in U.S., because they are one of the last mainstays, and England, UK as well. These are two of the last mainstays of the darkness. And as we see in the UK with the immense pressures, but also in the US, what's coming upon the people, but it's becoming more blatant and obvious for the people to make the choices to know that these evil ones in their governments, that the people cannot allow it to happen, what is occurring. So the people have to stand together. And the way that moral law is, again, is that the people are the actual law and the jurisdiction again. And when you look at any country, when the people vote, they vote in representatives, meaning that the people are responsible for what these representatives do. So if you take Trump, if you will, with whatever they call ICE at beating up all of these people, the people of the U.S. are actually responsible for all of these bully and sick tactics that Trump is doing, because Trump would not be there if the people themselves did not put him there. So the actual responsibility, accountability is upon the people to do the right thing. But however, with politics in the US or the UK, it is not founded in law. So those things cannot be used. The only thing that is law, that is moral law, is gpms.world. It is the only vehicle that ends all of the corruption and establishes true law upon earth, where every man, woman, and child is equal in rights and in wealth, and all of their rights upheld, which eliminates any criminal behavior worldwide, poverty, and all those things. So again, without rambling on, you can see perhaps the implications of why this is so huge and it's so important, not only to GPMS, but the end times, to allow GPMS to come shortly after those end times for all of humanity. And in reality, you see that there is no choice. There is no other way, that they must choose gpms.world. And the more they hesitate, the more that are dying, getting picked off, and if you will. So there comes a point of realization that ones need to make the choice and stand up and do what's right. For if they allow the wicked, evil governments and child care services to exist, then the people are accomplices to these heinous crimes, because the power is actually with the people, and also the responsibility and accountability is with the people themselves. And the only way to remove tyrants is the people to stand all together and utilize the divine law. And this is the only way, and it's all divinely set up that this occurs at this time. So everything is inevitable, everything is good, although it looks bad and chaotic. It's all part of serving the end times, so that humanity can live in peace, love, abundance, joy, freedom, and all the good things the way that it should be, and the way that all of you felt in your heart that it should be. You felt that because it's real, and that's what we're here to create, and that's what's happening. And that's where we're going. Thank you.
Yeah, so I was looking also on your Facebook. There are no question. One comment was there that fear age us. Yeah, it's coming against our appearance and internal organs, and it's toxic. Yes, it's true. It is a very low consciousness element, so we should get out from the fear, and fear, it is inside of the evil system. Then we change everything with love. So Sergio, I remember, I know you said that you are born in Ukraine. I believe so.
Yeah, born in Ukraine. I lived there like 20 something years. I moved after I finished my university to Canada because I didn't see opportunity to live in Ukraine. It was like so corrupt country. They're just trying to, I don't know.
Yeah, Sergio,
False,
university.
it's a false belief. It's like a independence for the big country. It's like it's all false. It's just people in the government stealing all the resources and pushing people against their neighbor. It's all like a big false. Just I don't know. It wasn't my idea to leave, but I just didn't see a future. That's why I left. And I want to add to this like a kind of their beliefs for nationality, for their like division. It's all it's all false. It's like we all unite and just we can change the system. You don't need, if somebody has like some cultural things, it's good. Just you like it, you just do it. It's like it's your choice. But you don't have to fight the other cultural things. You don't have to fight the others who speak the other language. And especially people in Ukraine just fight. They're pretending they're fighting for their land. Their land was already bought long time ago by this big corporation from all over the world. They're not fighting for their land, they're just fighting for somebody else's land. And it
Yeah,
has to stop. Why are you fighting it? It's like it's not yours. You don't have to fight. You have a choice, like Divine-gpms.world. It's a choice that stops all the fighting. But they still don't understand it. It's like it's up to them. You have reality to choose. Are you fighting or you uniting? It's like it's your choice.
yeah. And also Ukraine, Romania, Russia, there are no borders. Everything is fake there. So they just need to unite. And also Hungary, where is the problem with another fake land that belongs to somebody on earth? No, does not belongs. This belongs to divinity. It should be told again and again until the people will start fight for their land in the corners of the world. And from Canada, we have also with us Dave. Dave, are you born in Canada, I believe? So are you what is called Canadian born?
Yeah, I was born on the West Coast. Spent my first 26 years there, 29 years there.
Yeah, so basically who is moving for GPMS in the territory of Canada? Dave, Serhi, Beatrice, that are also present here. There are a couple of others too, but three of us, we are present here. And from where we are born and where we are living is not important. So I'm implied in international too. So every single one that try to refer to me, I want to answer back unless they are coming again and again, but basically they know the message of GPMS. So then there, I know that it is enough, my implication there, but if new one comes, for sure, I'm spreading the word of GPMS out. Yes, sir, he.
I just want to add the Finnish words. It's like solar flashes the spiritual people is talking about. Yeah, it's all just the instrument, but it's not the end result. The divine GPMS is the end result. Solar flashing doesn't gonna feed you. Not gonna give you a money and not gonna give you a unity. This is just a divine instrument to awaken you and just trying to bring more energies so you will understand what is going on. But it's not the end point because they're just waiting for a big solar flash at the end of this year. Sure, it can come, but why we wanna wait for it? We can vote right now, use our free will, and change our reality right now. If we're not choosing it, we're just living in the old reality. If you're not using your free will to choose the new reality, it's like you're gonna live in old reality, and not even solar flash gonna help you. You have to choose. That's why you have a free will. If you are a soul, if you are not a soul, it's like don't even bother. Yeah, it's my final statement. Thank you.
Yeah, I personally, I would like to see GPMS to happen first before the father event happen. Because those that have a soul, they will start to see because they are saying it's too beautiful to be true. Then basically they will see with their eyes changing this world, this is happening, and they will be more directly towards the true God, the creator. Then from there we may have more body with souls on earth that remains. So, but I am not God, so God event will pass when God decides, and you know, it's everything that we hope it's to bring GPMS up. Then from there, huge impact on all humanity happens. Rick,
May
I
I,
cannot
sister?
tell you how much I like that you are on earth for that, to do that with us. And thank you so much to be here on earth in these divine times. My concern is
Sister,
just do not leave the earth after
Yeah.
GPMS is coming.
Thank you. However, you're here as well. It's all of us, as I said. But what I wish to say, GPMS is the solar flash. It's what creates it, if you will. And it is the end result, as you said. So once we have the numbers, um, enough numbers, however that may be, it creates it. It's all timed. It's all the same thing. And yeah, and as you said, Sergey, many people sitting around waiting for the solar flash, but they just didn't put it all together yet. That this is it. It's what does it, and it's all designed in whatever way that may be. Oh, but I did a little bit of looking. Really, when we look also worldwide at the amount of um, adults over the age of 18. So what I was looking at worldwide, how many eligible voters in the legal system, in this system worldwide, and that number is almost 6 billion. But we'll use 6 billion, but what this also means is that legally and also lawfully that we don't require 4.1 billion. In actuality, 3.1 billion also will do it. So when you look at it this way as well. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Oh, we are in this meeting for more than 2 hours already. If someone wants to participate with another message, it is the time. If not, I would like to thank you to everyone that it is present in this meeting and share the message of GPMS, and also share this video as message. Also about divine-gpms.world. I will say only I am love, and thank you so much for GPMS to be here on earth in these times, and just become viral GPMS and everything happens. Thank you so much to everyone.
Thank you, and love, light, and gratitude, everyone. And I'll end the Facebook live stream. And we can end the recording.